90% of JavaScript developers get this wrong in interviews. And the worst part? They think they got it right. Today we are cracking one of the most asked JavaScript interview questions of all time. Var versus let versus constant sounds basic, right? It is not. The moment an interviewer goes deep on hoisting and scope, this question becomes a trap. And today, we are going to flip that trap into your biggest advantage. Here is why this matters right now. Every front-end interview, whether it is for React, Angular, Vue, or just vanilla JavaScript, starts with fundamentals. And hiring managers use this exact question as a filter. Not because it is hard, but because it reveals whether you truly understand how JavaScript thinks. Not just what you type, but what the engine does with your code before it even runs a single line. That is the level we are going to today. Let us get into it. 3 sections. Real code. Real interview answers. Let us go. Section 1. Hoisting. What is actually happening under the hood? Hoisting is JavaScript's behavior of moving declarations to the top of their scope before the code executes. Not the value. Just the declaration. That distinction is everything. Think of it like this. Imagine a company onboarding new employees. Var is that one reckless employee who shows up on day 1, sits at a desk, starts making decisions, before any onboarding has happened. They exist in the building, but they have no idea what they are doing yet. Let and const? They are the disciplined professionals. They will not touch a single task until their setup is fully complete. Proper process. No shortcuts. Look at this code. We log name before we declare it. What does this print? Most beginners say, error. Wrong. It prints undefined. Not an error. Undefined. Here is why. JavaScript hoists the var declaration to the top. So the engine sees it as, var name equals undefined first. Then later, name gets assigned Alice. But by the time we log it, the assignment has not happened yet. So we get undefined. Now watch what happens with let. Same structure. Different keyword. What is the output now? This time? A reference error. Cannot access city before initialization. And this is where the magic word appears. The temporal dead zone. The temporal dead zone, or TDZ, is the period between when a let or const variable is hoisted and when it is actually initialized. During that window, if you try to touch that variable, JavaScript throws an error. The variable exists. JavaScript knows about it. But it is off limits. Like a VIP area you are not allowed to enter yet. So let and const are still hoisted. Do not let anyone tell you they are not. The difference is that var gets initialized with undefined right away. But let and const stay in the temporal dead zone until the line of code that declares them is actually reached. That's single distinction. That is what separates a junior answer from a senior answer in an interview. Section 2. Scope. Block scope versus function scope. Scope means, where in your code can a variable be accessed. Var is function scoped. Let and const are block scoped. What does that mean in real life? A block is anything inside curly braces. An if statement. A for loop. A while loop. Those are all blocks. We declare score with var inside an if block. Then we log it outside. What do we get? 100. No error. Because var does not care about blocks. It only respects function boundaries. So score leaks right out of that if block and is accessible everywhere in the function. Same code. We swap var for let. Now what? Reference error. Points is not defined. Because let is block scoped. Once that curly brace closes, points is gone. It does not exist outside that block. This is not a bug. This is a feature. Block scoping keeps your variables contained and predictable. It stops variables from leaking into places they should never be. Here is a classic interview trap. The for loop with var. What does this print? Most people say 0, 1, 2. It actually prints 3, 3, 3. Because var leaks out of the for block. By the time the set timeout callbacks fire, the loop is already done. I is already 3. All three callbacks share the same I. And that I is 3. Swap var for let. Now each iteration gets its own block-scoped I. Now it prints 0, 1, 2. Exactly as expected. This one code snippet alone has shown up in hundreds of real front-end interviews. Remember it. Section 3. Redeclaration and reassignment rules. var can be declared again in the same scope and JavaScript will not complain. Let cannot be redeclared in the same scope. Const cannot be redeclared and cannot be reassigned. Let us see this in code. This works. Prints 2. No error. var just overwrites itself silently. That silent overwrite is dangerous. It is how bugs hide. This throws a syntax error immediately. Cannot redeclare let protects you from accidentally overwriting a variable you already created. This throws a type error. Assignment to constant variable. Const locks the binding. But here is a nuance that interviewers love to test. This works. Prints Sam. Because const locks the reference, not the contents. The user variable still points to the same object in memory. We are just changing a property inside it. The reference did not change. But if you try to reassign user to a completely new object, that throws an error. Let us talk about 3 common mistakes that cost people their interviews. Mistake 1. Saying let and const are not hoisted. They are hoisted. They just live in the temporal dead zone until initialized. That is a different thing. Say it correctly and you instantly sound like a senior developer. Mistake 2. Thinking const means completely immutable. It does not. It means the binding is constant. Objects and arrays declared with const can still have their contents modified. Mistake 3. Using var in modern JavaScript. Just stop. Use let when the value will change. Use const when it will not. That is the rule. Clean, predictable, safe. Alright. Here is your one-sentence takeaway for today. var is function scoped and hoisted with undefined, let and const are block scoped and hoisted but locked in the temporal dead zone, and const additionally prevents reassignment of the binding. Know that cold. Say it confidently. And you will stand out from every developer who just memorizes keywords without understanding the engine. This is day 1 of UI Interview Cracker. We are just getting started. Every single day, one concept, laser-focused, interview ready. Here is your challenge for the comments. Write the output of the for loop example with var before we fixed it. And tell me why it happens in your own words. Drop it below. I read every single one. Let us see who has got it locked in. See you in day 2. Let us go.